a second while I make sure everything is functioning as it should be. That way, I know that you guys are hearing what I'm hearing. Hopefully. Theoretically. Alright, can anybody hear me? Let me know in the chat. Because for whatever reason, the monitoring aspect is not working for me like it should be. Okay, awesome. And I'm gonna do something horribly unladylike and crack my knuckles because, yeah, it needs to be done. Hello, everybody in the chat. Let me know if the music is too loud compared to my speaking, because I can hear the music, but for whatever reason, OBS is giving me the finger and won't let me hear myself. Just a little bit. There we go, that seems better. It does feel good, but it's so bad for you. And being a massage therapist and working with my hands, I should not crack my knuckles. It is not good for career longevity. It's going to be making all sorts of horrible noises. And nobody needs that. Unless, of course, you're particularly fond of the Japanese voice actor who did Bakugo's voice for My Hero Academia, screaming "die, die, die" in Japanese, because that's my text message noise, because I'm a dork. So how's everybody doing today? I know it's Monday, so I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. My weekend was a bit bittersweet because my kids are going to be getting on a plane and traveling across the country tomorrow to get to see my ex-husband's side of the family. It'll be their first trip on a plane, so I'm a little bit freaked out. Oh, thank you, Wolf. Hope you have an awesome night, too. Yeah, I tried to log into your stream yesterday, and oh my goodness, it was so glitchy. I even turned the resolution way down to the lowest possible resolution, hoping that maybe I'd be able to hear what you were saying at least, but no, man, it was buffering so bad. I don't know what streaming software you use, but OBS is the way to go. And thank you, Nate. I was a stay-at-home mom for 6 years, so even having them away from me for the normal weeks where they're with him feels off and wrong and weird, and I don't like it. You know. Joys of mom brain, I guess. And they're gonna be taller than me before I know it, so honestly, I just need to get used to them not being attached to me at the hip, but it's very strange. Oh no, my neighbors have the extra noise department completely covered 110%. It's now been approximately a day since I've had to listen to fireworks going off, so maybe if I'm lucky when I'm done streaming tonight I can record again. See, that's part of the reason that I just didn't want to bother with the whole VTuber thing. It seems cool, but like I've mentioned before, I have another channel. My face is all over the place on the internet. I understand why people hide their faces, but my face is in so many places already. I just can't be asked to bother. No, too much extra work. And I might even put on the face cam at some point this evening. I don't know. My hair looked all cute earlier, and then I did what I always do and rolled all the windows down and drove with my metalcore on my way back from the grocery store after dropping off the kids. I don't like flying. It is definitely not my favorite thing. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily scared of flying, but it does make me a little bit twitchy. It's great that it saves time on travel, but mostly the security checks and the timetable of everything is just a pain right in the butt, you know? Thank you, Wolf. Have fun. Have a good night. Or whatever time of day it is there. I always just assume everybody's in the States, and I know that a lot of people who watch me are not at all in the States, but you know. Over here on the West Coast, it is currently 7 p.m. And I know back east where I'm from, it's 10 o'clock right now. So lots of people are probably getting wound down for bed for the evening. Morning time. Thank you. Good luck. I can't wait to listen to it. Time zones are something that we're honestly kind of insulated from here in the States. I feel like we do have a little bit of time passage understanding, but I always have to go either look on a map or look up a calculator, and I'm like, oh my god, what time is it in this area? Over on my other channel that I started years and years ago, I'm actually friends with a lot of people that I met through that crafting community. And they're in the UK. And from here to there, it's like a 9-hour time difference, I think. It's pretty crazy. When I was on the East Coast, it was easier to talk with those people because it was only a 6-hour difference instead of a 9-hour difference. Yeah, I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay on. Probably at least an hour, maybe 2 if people get really chatty. We'll see. It also depends on how long my voice holds out. My voice has been kind of in and out. I'm not sure if it's allergies or what. But whenever I'm trying not to talk in my normal voice and I'm trying to do the voiceover voice or the customer service voice, which is about 4 octaves higher than my normal voice, it's not fun. That makes a lot of sense. If it weren't for all of the people that I know in the UK, the only real reason that I would even think about it is because all of my family is over on the East Coast of America and I'm on the West Coast, so there's a 3-hour time difference. We're 3 hours behind them. So unless I have an emergency, and I usually talk to one of my parents at least every other day, if not every day. Sometimes I call both of them if I'm having a really bad day and I need an adultier adult to talk through my problems with. And I don't like to call my father at least after 5 here because he goes to sleep crazy early and gets up crazy early. My mom's more of a night owl. I kind of got that from her, but yeah. Yeah, when I used to play World of Warcraft, I had that issue too. For whatever reason, the server that I ended up in wasn't even an American server, so people were all over the place time zone wise. It made trying to figure out big raids really, really not so much fun. Yeah, I'm an only child, and I have a really good relationship with both of my parents. I'm extremely lucky in that regard compared to a lot of people. It's one of those things that when you're a kid, you don't really realize it, but the older you get, you're like, wow, I didn't realize that my friends didn't have a relationship like that with their parents. And my hands are dry like the Sahara right now, guys, so pardon the noise. And they're gonna be even worse tomorrow because I have to go work at the clinic, so I'm gonna have to wash my hands like 1,000,000 10 times. So does anybody have any big plans for this week? Anything they're looking forward to accomplishing? It doesn't even honestly have to be a big plan. Be like, oh hey, I'm planning to actually cook a meal 2 or 3 times this week instead of just eating crap out of a box or fast food. I have been really, really bad about eating quick food out of a box. Aw, that's awesome, Nate. Yeah, when I first decided to dip my toes into making audios of this sort, I looked at so many pre-made public scripts, and some of them are amazing, and the people who write them and just put them up for people to use are awesome people. But then I started seeing all of the issues people were going through with the repetitious content takedowns, and somebody who had published an audio with a public script trying to copyright claim anyone and everyone's video who used that same script. And it's like, unless you paid an author to write you an exclusive script, if you are using public scripts, they are public for a reason. Oh, that's awesome. Hi there, Darkest Hour. I found that the easiest way to work through a script is honestly to just read it out loud to yourself as you're going. If you're used to reading out loud, you know that there's supposed to be a certain pace to things. You know that when you're excited, your words are going to flow more quickly and you're going to say more words. But when you're more calm, you can have a slightly lower word count and it's fine. Or if it's supposed to be like a sleepy audio, then you can have those kind of almost borderline pregnant pauses in between, waiting for the listener to respond in some way, shape, or form. The scary thing for me was actually doing improv. I have never been good at improv, in my opinion. I did speech and debate forensics in high school. I was on the team, club, whatever the hell you want to call it for that. And I always did things where I would have to memorize it, and then you just sort of glance at the paper in your hand, so it's practice and practice and practice, just like if you were doing lines for a play. But you still have the prop of the paper in front of you, so if you totally lose your place, you can look down and it's there. Yeah, it seems like the whole public script thing has been a mess lately. There was that person running around that literally stole entire videos from a creator. That's all over Twitter. If you guys are interested in what has been going on with that, I left a link to it a couple days ago on the community page. I don't really want to talk about it and potentially bring myself under fire. As soon as I saw what was happening, I blocked the person who was stealing content on any and every platform that I possibly could, hoping that anytime I said something, they wouldn't be able to find me through it. Because there is a scriptwriter who is now taking an extended break because of this nonsense. There are 2 channels that ended up getting taken down. One of them has finally been reinstated, but I don't think she's posted anything yet. And the other one, he's working on getting everything back in working order. And that's scary. You know, it's like, I understand people not wanting to pay for something, say through Patreon, that you can just watch for free on YouTube. That's why I continue to make content on YouTube. Which, yay, now the channel's finally monetized, so a little bit of ad revenue, while it's not going to be paycheck replacement as of yet, I'm hoping to maybe get to that point, and if nothing else, to at least grow the channel enough with it that hopefully more people will be able to drop tips or go subscribe on Patreon if people want to actually read my fiction, because I don't post scripts there, but I am posting 2 novels that I'm working on, and I post short stories that I'm writing there. I'm hoping to get enough short stories together to maybe make an anthology before the end of the year. Maybe, that's a big maybe. I have done the self-publishing thing with Kindle Direct before, and it's kind of a pain in the balls, to be perfectly frank, but if I can get 10 income streams going that all of them together add up to what I need to be making in a month, so be it. Because massage therapy, which I was expecting to be a full-time gig, the hourly rate is good, but I don't get that many hours some weeks, and now that I'm getting 0 financial input from my ex, it's, I'm kind of scrambling to recover. I'm sure everything will be fine, but it depends on your view count more than your subscriber count. Honestly, looking at my view count for the last month, if I have the same or more this month, I might actually get a check from YouTube next month. That's insane to me, because on my other channel where I have almost 8,000 subscribers, even on months where I was doing well before the unfortunate stop and start of life made the channel pretty much almost completely die, I'd get a check maybe every 3 or 4 months, because the pay threshold is $100. So it depends on your view count, and it depends on what type of ads are playing on your content. It doesn't mean that people necessarily have to sit through the ads, but depending on your type of content, then advertisers pay a certain amount to be put on your videos, and depending on what kind of payout they get, then you have a higher pay per click rate, and it's like this big, yeah. I'm kind of an analytics hound, so I have a lot of people who I follow, and I know this is gonna make me sound like a horrible person, but bear with me. I promise I'm not a horrible person, I'm just obsessed with numbers. I'm not in competition with these people, but I do look at their metrics and compare them to mine to see what I can improve, so that what I'm doing will become more worthwhile to me monetarily. And I study all the analytics nonsense through my YouTube dashboard and all that stuff, but there are a few other creators that I follow, male and female creators, that I'm learning the way that they do things and what their publishing schedule is like and what kinds of other things that they do, and do they have merch and all of these other things. And every time I hear people say, oh, I'm just doing this because it's fun, I'm like, that's great. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're just doing it because it's fun. Personally, with how long it takes me to edit an audio, add in all of the effects and the music, and by the time I've made the music, because after that copyright claim thing with the Demon Cake audio, oh man, which by the way, the people never responded back because it turns out that the company that's running around claiming things with that name is actually a scam company. The copyright claim for that was dropped, so now that the channel is monetized, that video can start making me money. And yes, I did make this music loop that is playing in the background. I have dabbled with digital music for a long time. I suck at music theory. I'm working on that. I actually paid for a course that I have yet to take the time to sit through because life. But yes, I did make the music that's playing in the background. I needed something just kind of mellow that wouldn't get obnoxious if it played on repeat for like an hour plus. The best thing to do as far as that goes, Nate, is just sit through the ads if you don't mind sitting through them when you're watching things on YouTube. And if you have YouTube Premium, which I do as well, creators actually get slightly more money for people who have YouTube Premium once they're watching things. Hi, Inherited Stitches, how are you? And as far as the music stuff goes, it's actually something that I'm considering offering as a service maybe to other people who are narrators. Like, oh hey, I'll make you a track or a loop that is X amount of time long for a couple of bucks. And it'll be something only you have so that nobody has to worry about the issues with like Muse music and coag music, and in the horror narrator community pretty much everybody just uses Muse music, MYUU. I'm doing alright. I'm a little bit antsy because the boys are back with their dad and gonna be getting on a plane tomorrow, but yeah. I've actually thought about doing one of those half-hour to an hour longish study session lo-fi videos, but I didn't know if that was something that people here would be okay with or not, and I do not want to make another channel. I know everybody says, oh, just make a separate channel for it. No, don't. Trying to juggle that many channels would just be way too much work. But yeah, if you let ads play or if you click on them, that's one of those ways that you can support a creator for free. Doesn't cost anything for you. And thank you, Darkest Hour. It seems like, I know that in the horror narration community, it seems like everybody just uses the same music. So I was like, well, if that's something that maybe there's a market for, here I am, look at my skills. Because, when all else fails, if you're even moderately good at something and it can make you a couple of bucks, it can make you a couple of bucks, right? Right. Yeah, every time I go through and get rid of another streaming service or some other premium thing that I pay for, because, every month you're like, I haven't used this thing in a month or two. Instead of continuing to pay for it, I'm just going to get rid of it. I always keep YouTube because my kids watch a lot of YouTube. And young people do not have the patience to listen to advertisements. And yes, I 110% agree. There are so many canned music bits that get used on channels everywhere. It drives me absolutely nuts. Maybe I could do that sometime. Or even just take you guys through what the editing process is like. With most audios that are like 20 minutes or less, it's usually not bad. But then I always tell myself, oh, it's only a 20-minute audio, it won't be that bad. And 2 hours later, I have like 18 layers of tracks that have the sound effects and the ambience and the music in the background, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? And the answer is because I really like the end result. It is a lot of work. I mean, I would say that the average 20-minute audio that comes out to 20 minutes when it's done anyway, because it probably started off more like a 30-minute audio with neighbors making noise and my cats being super helpful and me having a coughing fit or just not being able to read words, because sometimes what are words? With all of that, it usually takes me anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, I would say, for a 20 to 30 minute audio. Yeah, that was kind of my thought process behind it. I know that, like I said, Muji is used so much to such an extent that every time I hear an audio with it, I kind of wish that I could go through and like mute the music and just listen to the words. Hi Aiden, welcome. And oh, I know your kitty cat is old. My cats aren't that old yet. They're 5-ish? 5 this year. Yeah. Yeah, I don't... As somebody who's been on the victim end of things in a narcissistic relationship, the last thing that I want is to make anybody feel belittled in that way. You know? I can't even fake mean, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of a sarcastic jerk sometimes, but I blame it on me being from New York. That's just the way they make us over there on the East Coast. Don't blame me. I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way. And I think that me having a novel writing background makes it a lot easier for me to give the characters that sort of depth. I feel like some people come into the whole voice acting roleplay thing and they're just like, oh, I have a decent voice, I'm just gonna read these pre-made public scripts, and that's great for some people, but if you've never had any sort of public speaking experience, or if you've never taken an acting class, or if you don't have small children that you read to and have to do a variety of voices on the regular or different dialects, it's like, it's kind of flat. And that's not to rag on people, and I know that there are a lot of people who do exactly all of those things I listed, and they have huge followings compared to me, and that's fine. It works for them. That's great. That's not how I want to do things. I want to earn it all on my own merit. I have always been the, oh look, I'm a one-woman show type, and I don't know if that's just me being stubborn because I'm an only child, so I feel like I willingly take the weight of the world on my shoulders, or just the crazy work ethic that was instilled in me thanks to my parents. See, now, I feel like, as somebody who first off is a vampire junkie and has been since I was, oh lord, how old was I when I picked up my first Anne Rice book? Probably 10. No, we'll say 12. I picked up my first Stephen King book when I was 10. But my first Anne Rice book was The Vampire Lestat, not Interview with the Vampire, The Vampire Lestat. So I honestly could never read Interview with the Vampire because it was from Louis's perspective, and if you read Lestat's perspective first, anything that Louis said was 110% fiction compared to the words of the Brat Prince. But from all of the vampire novels I've read, I feel like older vampires would just be more uncaring than overtly malicious. I feel like over time your humanity wears down. Oh, don't even get me started on Vlad the Impaler. I did so many reports on that man through middle school and high school. My teachers were like, talking to my parents and asking if I needed help or if I needed to see a counselor. They're like, no, she just likes weird, creepy shit. That's just the way she is. She started reading Stephen King when she was 10. What do you want? But my personal take on really, really, really old vampires, we're talking like 500 years old plus, is that they would more be like the elite people from Altered Carbon. Just completely detached because life is so different for them. Oh, not me. I actually have my first Stephen King book on the shelf right over there. Well, the first one that my parents bought for me. What was the first one that I read? The first one that I read was Carrie. Carrie was the first one that I read. And actually, I have it in paperback, and now I need to read it now that both of the movie parts are done. I was like, I want to watch both of the new versions of the movie and enjoy them as their own entity rather than go, it wasn't like the book, because I know I'm one of those people. So if I see that something is coming out in movie or television form and I haven't read the books yet, I will avoid the books like the plague until I have watched it, so I can enjoy it as its own separate medium. I don't think I've read Desperation. First one I read was Carrie, and then my parents got me Salem's Lot for my birthday. And then I don't remember what one I read next, but I know that for our senior trip to Florida, because that's a thing when you live up in the land of the ice and snow, you take your senior trip to somewhere warm for spring break. I was reading Christine on the beach in Florida. Yeah, I could see that too. I feel like there are so many tropes that people have come to expect as the norm, and they almost kind of get mad at you if you don't stick to those parameters. And it's like, no, you don't understand. If I am writing, it is fiction. Ergo, I am God. I can do whatever the hell I want. You know why? Because I created this world. And quite frankly, the way that most of my fiction characters that I write appear to me is almost like a hallucination or a voice in my head. And sometimes it's honestly kind of terrifying. And no, I'm not schizophrenic. That's just the way my brain works. And I'm one of those lucky people who can actually have the words from the page translated into sort of a movie in my brain. That's why I write the way I do. I have very descriptive, cinematic style of writing. And that's another thing that kind of makes me sad and why I have yet to finish and publish my most recent book I've been working on. Because firstly, it is a reverse harem. No. Really, dude? Robux of all the things. Lame. I mean, my kids would be stoked. 50,000 Robux! Oh my god, that's a lot of Robux! See, my kids love playing Roblox. Oh my god. Oh, Lord. Now I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about because that made me giggle so much. Oh, but I'm in a lot of reader groups so that I can see what people are looking for and what people hate, and seeing people go, oh my god, I hate it so much when somebody like goes on and on about description of like the things around and everything else, and I'm like, then why don't you just read a comic book? Like, if you don't want descriptions of things, why are you reading a book? Go read a comic book so you can see what everything is supposed to look like. So then all you're getting is the dialogue. Go read a comic book, go read a manga, go read a graphic novel. Maybe regular books aren't the place for you. I used to game. I don't really anymore. I don't have time for it. I have this guilt whenever I sit down to do something that isn't something that can make me money. I want to say that it's not necessarily hustle culture, but it's partly hustle culture and partly me knowing that I'm not gonna make money if I'm not working to make money. And yes, I like that quote. I am God in this world, and waiters make a living wage. Funny that you should say that. I actually have the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe sitting right here on the table next to me. It is huge and it is massive and monstrous, and I was like, everything by Edgar Allan Poe is in the public domain now, so I could read something from Edgar Allan Poe on the stream and not get a copyright ding because he's been deceased for over 100 years. Same thing with Lovecraft. Yes, it is the hardcover. I got it from Borders for like $10 a million years ago, and the only reason I know I got it from Borders is because it still has a Borders bookmark in it before the Borders that we had in our mall closed down, and then the entire company went under. But yeah, hardcover binding. Here, we'll get some ASMR. I actually started buying the Game of Thrones books. I got them at the half-price bookstore, and I don't care if a paperback is beat to hell as long as the pages aren't ripped and they're not like soaked in coffee and stuck together. I can read a book. I actually like the old book smell, but I got 4 of them. I'm looking at my bookshelf behind me right now. Yeah, I watched the series. I started watching it and I was like, I'm just gonna wait until the series is done because I want to be able to enjoy the series and the books separately. So I'm not sitting there going, oh my god, that's not what so-and-so's supposed to look like. That's not how that was supposed to happen. This is so lame. Why can't TV creators just do right by authors and make everything proper? I don't think that there are any liquids I could tolerate a book being soaked in. Primarily because it makes the pages stick together, no matter what it is. Even if it's just water and you're very careful and let it dry, the pages will forever be warped and wiggly. See, I didn't think that the show was that out there, personally. And I am probably going to give away some spoilers for the series at this point, and it's been out long enough that if you haven't heard this already, you must have been living under a rock. So I personally felt like the end of the series made sense for the main characters. I know that a lot of people were like, I just don't understand why Daenerys went nuts. And I'm like, really? I think just before she was ended, they ran through a tally of all of the horrible crap that had happened to this lady that made her go chugging around the bend. I wouldn't say that it was absolute power corrupts absolutely in the show, honestly. I would say that it was a lot of things added up to her just tipping over the edge into crazy. And everybody's like, oh, it's so horrible. Exactly. Somebody had to take her out. And I personally figured that it was gonna be him because all you got from him for the entire last season for the most part was, but she's my queen. And I'm like, yeah, sure she is, but this isn't gonna end well for anybody involved. Just isn't. They're trying to hide your comment. But I'm gonna show it because you censored it, so it's fine. My real question with the series was, how did Sansa not end up having babies accidentally? Because her entire story arc was getting passed and tossed from abusive man to abusive man to abusive man through like the whole freaking thing. And I'm like, bro, you know birth control didn't exist yet, right? How did she not accidentally end up pregnant? That was my primary disbelief, was no longer suspended gripe with the series. Like, all the other fantastical stuff, cool, fine, I get that. But that was just, ugh, Lord almighty. Sure, I have no problem reading a script. Percussive maintenance. I feel really bad for the actor who played Joffrey, because I feel like that poor kid is never going to be able to do anything without people hating him. Hey, we all have fan kid moments. See, I loved the memes based around the whole brother-sister loving nonsense. Like, season 1, ew, incest. But then towards the end of the series with John and Danny, everybody's like, aw, incest. Like, it's all ooh cutesy. And I'm like, oh my lord. Absolutely ridiculous. But I thought it was funny. See, I have to say that Arya was probably one of my favorite characters, but I also feel like they didn't do full screen time justice to what she was capable of after her time spent with the Faceless Man, who, ooh, oh my, by the way, Faceless Man, Hello, kitty cat. I hope not. I mean, what was... Oh my god, who was the other jerk that Sansa was with? The one who got nommed on by his dogs. What was his name, and why am I drawing a total blank right now? That character was horrible too, but you know, he's playing a character. That's not him as a person. And I haven't run into any issues with that personally with the community around my channel so far, but I know a lot of people have that issue. Now I'm gonna have to go look because I can't remember his stupid name. I should remember. Sorry for my super loud keyboard. Ramsay, that was his name. I knew it was an R. Ramsay Bolton. So this is actually a round typewriter style mechanical keyboard. It's made by Royal Kludge, I guess. I just really like the mechanical keyboard style. I like the clickety clicks. It makes me happy when I'm typing. I'm sure it annoys the hell out of other people, but I enjoy it. It makes me happy. Feeds that sensory need. And somehow doesn't distract me when I'm writing. It actually helps me get more into it because it kind of makes other sounds around me more of a drone over the clickety clack. I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks on Amazon. It was my reward to myself for hitting 50,000 words on the story I was working on for NaNoWriMo in November. I do occasionally upload to my craft channel, but every time I do, I only get maybe 100 or 200 views on a video, and that is really, really discouraging. Extremely discouraging. When I can post one here and I'll have at least 100 views within the first day. Sometimes I'll get 500 to 1,000. I don't ever feel like I have anything of value to post on my craft channel right now. Just because I don't have the time to be crafting. I have literally not picked up a crochet hook since I freaking moved out into this apartment in October. And I used to crochet every day. It was my stress relief, and now I just don't have the time when my hands are free. And then I have some videos on here where, like I said, I know it's not a competition, but I look at some channels that are a lot bigger than mine, and they get way less views per video than I do. So I'm like, okay, they have more subscribers, allegedly. Why am I getting more views than they do on average? What am I doing differently? Is it my tags? Is it my descriptions? Is it just that the second somebody comments on one of my videos, unless I'm asleep or at work, I reply almost instantaneously? But I think the problem with the craft channel, I don't know if it's people paying for subscribers or if it's just YouTube not sending notifications to people. Like, I know that with my craft channel, like I said, I've got almost 8,000 subscribers there, but I go and do all of the things that I used to do. I go and comment on a few other people's videos before I post mine. I post it at the recommended time when allegedly most of my subscribers are online. And I get crickets. I think that a lot of it might also be follow for follow. People are like, oh, we have channels that are in the same realm of stuff. Let's follow each other. It's like, it's cool to do that, but if you don't actually interact with things on my channel, then you're just a dead subscriber, and it doesn't really help anything. Oh yeah, there are totally those things. I'm not about those things. Yeah, yep. That's exactly it. And I'm not for that. I've actually had YouTube unsubscribe me from people who I not only watch on the regular, but interact with regularly. And you just go and look through your list to find them one day, and you're like, oh my god, why have I not seen a video from this person in forever? And if it's somebody that you talk to outside of YouTube, which a lot of the crafting people that I met through YouTube like 6 or 7 years ago now, I think 5 or 6, somewhere in that realm, it's like, why have I not seen a video from them? And you go and look, and you're magically no longer subscribed, and it's like, don't unsubscribe me from things. This is not my email. I think that ultimately it ends up hurting them, and I know that a lot of people do get their channels taken down or dinged or whatever for that kind of stuff. But then I see things like some of the people that my kids watch on YouTube, and they're like, oh, subscribe and we're gonna give away $1,000. Sorry, Knuckles again. Yeah, I don't know if it counts as a second view. I have actually started doing that. on both of my channels, going through and being like, okay, when was the last time I watched a video from this person? Am I actually interested in it? And if the answer is no, I'm absolutely not interested in it, then I'm like, wow. Oh wow, you're subscribed to a lot of people, holy crap. I think I've got maybe 300 or 400 channels. 300 or 400 that I follow. I did not know that there is an upper limit to the number of videos in a playlist. Oh, 5,000 videos. That's a lot of videos, though. That's a lot of videos. Oh, we don't even want to get into how many liked songs I have on Spotify. Wow, that's nuts. See, that's part of the reason I like making playlists on my channel, so that it's easier for people to watch things instead of having to hunt through. It always bothers me when I find a new voice actor who does roleplay stuff that I really, really like, and I go to their channel and they have like no playlists, but they'll have things that are in multiple parts, and it's like, dude, ain't nobody got time to be scrolling through all of these videos, and it never fails. It's always somebody who has a ton of videos, like at least 100. It's like, I am not gonna hunt through all of your video titles to find part 1, part 2, part 17. Like, no. I've been going through my watch later stuff lately and looking at it and going, am I actually gonna watch it? No, I'm not gonna watch it, and deleting it. So I think I'm down to like maybe 50-ish videos in my watch later stuff. Now you're making me curious. Now I'm gonna have to go look at my Spotify and see how many songs I've got in my in my liked songs. Yeah, I kind of use the one-shot formula for characters where I'm like, I don't know if people are gonna like this or not. So we'll see. Yes, that bothers me too. That's why when I do a lengthier series, I try to go through and make a compilation audio that's got all of the parts in one. So if people don't want to have to watch like an ad break every 10 freaking minutes, because that's what'll happen if you have ads before and after a video. And I'm not going to be doing mid-roll ads unless something is like super duper long. So if you ever see a mid-roll ad on one of my audios that's less than like 2 hours long, just let me know in a comment so I can make sure that it's turned off, because sometimes you can have those settings in stone and YouTube gives you the finger and does whatever the hell they want because it means more money for them. Yes, and that is exactly the issue, too. I do not like mid-roll ads. It bugs the crap out of me. Doesn't matter what I'm watching. And the other thing that I really super strongly dislike, oh, my liked songs is only 1,506 on Spotify. I'm disappointed in myself. Shame on me. I don't usually like songs though, unless it's something that's rolling through on a suggested and I don't have time to save it to a playlist, so. Yes, I am actually working on the next part for Minerva's kind of prequel to everything that went down with Kasaya. The biggest issue with that is that the accent is so hard to replicate, because I was trying and failing at making sort of an Irish accent, but it kind of blended with Scottish a little bit, and I got this kind of what I'm dubbing generic fantasy accent that is kind of both Irish and Scottish, but failing to be either one at the same time. And I have to be in the right mood for that, you know? It's really difficult sometimes. And YouTube is telling me that things are buffering. So let me know if you guys are having any issues. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Nate. I was actually worried that people were going to be like, oh my god, what are you doing? You're sucking at accents, just don't do it. So it actually took me forever to post that one because I was so concerned. I was like, everybody's going to hate this. I wonder why all of a sudden the stream health is garbage. But yeah, go for it. Hit me with another fun fact. I'm all about facts. Yeah, that's part of the reason that I don't like to have video running when I'm live streaming, because I know that it makes it harder for people to be able to pay attention. Oh, I know, I noticed that too, that you can't bulk remove things and it's not fun. Why is it trying to say that the stream health is horrible? Stop being horrible, stream health. Do you need some chicken soup? The biggest thing I've seen on ASMR videos lately is people who aren't part of the community, who don't understand what a public script is. So they'll just be like, oh my god, I totally heard this story or heard this script from somebody else. Or you're just copying so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, they're not. Random question, go for it. I am listening if you can hear me. Because it is still telling me that the stream health is garbage out of nowhere. When it was going so well. It was going so well. I actually have autoplay turned off on mine, so I do not have that happen. But I have heard horror stories from people about that exact thing happening. I'm like, no, thank you. Especially since sometimes I fall asleep to really super random dark things. Like, oh hey, let's watch a documentary about the back rooms or the darkest channels on YouTube. I'm one of those falls asleep to true crime type of girls. But that's because years ago now, which it feels really weird to say, I started listening to, the first horror narration channels that I started listening to were Darkness Prevails, Swamp Dweller, Southern Cannibal, and Corpse Husband, and Lazy Masquerade. And when I was still married and the kids were little and they were too young to understand the words of what was going on, being able to listen to a soothing male voice that was somewhere in the pitch range of their father helped them mellow out when it was bedtime, because usually he would sing them to sleep at night. So having something like that would help mellow the kids out when they were being absolute monsters, and sometimes being mom just isn't enough. I don't think I've ever really listened to Mr. Nightmare, if I'm being honest. I did listen to Creeps McPasta briefly, but then there was that whole scandal thing surrounding him, and yeah, no. That, and I'm lucky I don't have to worry about anybody questioning my life choices. Oh, with Creeps McPasta, it was like with most things where someone just uses their voice. It was a grooming thing, and I don't know if there was any validity to it or not, but when I see something like that involving a creator, I just instantly err on the side of caution, and I'm like, just in case this person is a dirtbag, I'm not gonna accidentally support something that I'm not for. That's actually a big issue in the VA community as well. Seeing all that stuff has almost made me quit Twitter a couple of times. But then I'm like, no, just stay out of it, know who to talk to and who to now not talk to, because they're obviously not good people. But to have somebody be like, oh, you're 17, I can't wait until you're 18 in like 6 months. Oh, you're 18 now, so you're a grown up. Like, ew. Unacceptable. What the hell is wrong with people? Gross. No thanks. On top of that, I'm just a little old lady anyway. It absolutely is easy for people to also fake things, but I feel like assuming that everybody is lying is more dangerous than just going, well, you don't want to doubt somebody who says they're a victim, because then you have to bring into question, okay, What parameters do we have to prove or disprove what they're saying? You're turning on the bathtub faucet for the screaming kitty cat. That makes me miss my old cats. Chester and Nurgle used to love taking baths because I taught them to from a young age. This orange cat over here, Atticus, would... I would die if I attempted to give this cat a bath. Yeah, I can't ever go to the bathroom by myself. The cats always have to protect me. Yeah, it's saying now that the connection is better than it was. It's finally back in the green, so hopefully it'll come out okay for the recording and the replay. Oh my god, people. Have I been talking for an hour and a half already? Hello there, with the hearts and the sparkles. Oh, that sounds like my Nurgle kitty. He was like 18 pounds and a big squishy, snuggly black cat. He had a girly little meow. I always have giant cats. Sometimes it makes me feel like I'm Emily Elizabeth from Clifford, because, you know, love makes little things grow. And I get my hands on a normal-sized cat that's supposed to be between, like, 5 and 7 pounds, and it ends up being a 16-pound monster, like this orange cat next to me. Yeah, I've seen some of that too, Barash, and that is just... I'm like, that's sketchy. Like, don't get me wrong, good for you on hustling, get that bag, honey, but... Eesh. Even if it's wholesome audios and they're not doing anything that's even remotely spicy, like, feels bad, you know? Ugh. Like, I was having a discussion with one of my friends the other day about how, yes, an 18-year-old man is an adult, but no thank you. I am 36, and that grown man could literally be my child if I had had a baby when I graduated from high school. And I am not okay with that. That makes me feel all kinds of icky. Like, no, I'm good. No. Aww. Poor kitty. Yeah, my black cat liked to lay on my pillow curled up around my head and groom me. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I had that issue with one recently that I had just found, and I was like, oh, I like his content, and it was all cute and stuff, and then it was like, he's 17, and I've been listening to him for like 6 months. I'm like, oh my god, no. This is not okay. This is not okay at all. Even though there was nothing on his channel that's questionable or spicy content, it was just, I liked the way his voice sounded. Hey, there's nothing wrong with having a baby face. Having a baby face is different from being an actual child. Okay, it's not the same thing. See, I have found, unfortunately, in the dating sphere, that men my age, I don't know if there's any way to say this without sounding like I'm a really shallow, horrible person. I feel like most men 35 and up in my local vicinity, as far as dating goes, are not the body type and ambition set that I am seeking. So I tend to date guys who are like early 30s and feel like a cradle robber, because the only time that I ever dated and was with a man older than me was my ex-husband, and he just turned 40 this year, and I'm like, well, you know, you got burned when you tried the older guy thing once. Maybe this is something that we shouldn't repeat. Yeah. See, my ex-boyfriend that I dated the most recently, I was with him for 2 years and he was 5'5", and I'm 5'8", so I think that it's ridiculous to discriminate against somebody for something they literally have no control over, that being their height. I've never understood... Well, I take that back. From a psychological perspective, I understand why women tend to want men that are excessively taller than them, and that is because society expects all women to be petite, fragile, feminine flowers. And some of us just aren't. Oh. There's nothing wrong with being shorter. I feel like my bottom end for height would probably be like 5'2", 5'3". But you know, who knows? I have always been super attracted to some visual K stars who are like Japanese and 5 feet tall. So, who knows? You know, liking buff girls is more of a thing than you might think. And if you're hearing that weird ticking noise, that's the cat having an itch. The buff girl thing seems to finally be coming around. I won't say it's completely accepted by society yet, but I think that it's getting there. Personally, my personal body goals, which I had a horrible winter, so I slipped and I was doing so well, so I'm working on recovering. My body goal is Jessica Biel from Blade Trinity. That is what I'm going for. She had some muscle tone, she had amazing definition, but she still looked feminine. She wasn't so huge and bulky that she looked like a man, and you know that she busted her ass to get in shape for that. That is what I'm going for. And I have big square shoulders. I mean, when I'm hitting the gym regularly, my average squat is somewhere between like 275 and 350. So... I am not small, wimpy girl, if that's what people are looking for. That's not gonna happen. to such an extent that in some of the local dating apps, I've had people assume because my name is Randy that I am a trans person and that I was born male because of my muscle tone and my deeper register voice and my name. And I'm like, no, born female, have a uterus, carried 2 children in said uterus. Thanks though, bro. Oh yeah, if you're working for a moving company, you gotta be in shape. And yeah, she was in pretty good shape in Alien. Yep. Just every time I see a female character in something and she's not just slender all around, I'm like, yes. Yeah. But all through primary school and middle school too, when teachers primarily, the first day of class, they'd be like, oh, I was expecting you to be a male. And I'm like, the I denotes femininity. I might not be hyper feminine, but it means I'm a girl. Okay, thanks. Oh, I know. I love whenever I wear a swimsuit and go to the pool with the kids and they're like, dude, does your stomach still hurt, mommy? Like, your stretch marks are so bad. Does it still hurt? And I'm like, no, but it hurt really bad when I literally felt my skin tearing because you were huge. Thanks, by the way. So the kids are learning that bodies are different, and scars like stretch marks are part of life for some of us who went from being very small to excessively huge from bearing Nephilim children. Both my kids were 9.5 pounds and 22 inches tall at birth, by the way. And they were both completely natural births. Yeah. That's why after I had 2, I said, nope, I'm done. No more. 2 is plenty. Aww. You earned those gray hairs. I'm actually kind of upset that I don't have any gray hairs yet, to be perfectly honest. Like, I've been through some stuff, and I don't have anything to show for it. Except for, you know, the stretch marks that looks like a rabid tiger tried to claw its way into my stomach. I mean, my dad's hair was completely gray by the time he was 30, and I'm 36, and I ain't got nothing. Old as the hills and disintegrating. You're not that old. And yes, there will eventually be more to the tale of Kasaya. At current, I am contemplating which VA I am going to ask to assist me because I need a man voice for some lines for the next part, for the paladin traveling to the tavern down the coast. Then go to bed. Thank you for dropping in. I love you, but go to bed. And yes, my kids were both 22 inches tall at birth. I am not sure. I have a few people whose voices I would really, out of pure fangirl ooh-ness, I would really, really, really like to get to work with them. And because I chat with them all over the place, I know that honestly it would just be a matter of me going, oh hey, I've got a couple of lines, could you read these for me when you get a chance, please, sometime in like the next week or two? No rush. And they probably wouldn't mind, but it's also kind of, oh, if I were able to show you a picture of how huge I was when I was 39 weeks pregnant with my oldest son, you would see. You would understand where a 2-foot tall child was. And it was that they were so tall that even after they dropped, they could still totally be kicking me in the diaphragm. It was not fun. Oh, the babies dropped. They can't still be kicking that high. And then the kids were born and they're almost 2 feet tall. Oh, like, don't tell me that I didn't feel that, because I totally did. Yeah, I don't know if I have a big enough following for people to do tryouts, but it might be interesting. We'll see. And I know I worked in a music store for entirely too long, because I actually just had to stop for a second and realize that the music was still actually playing in the background because I couldn't hear it anymore. Oh yeah, that's why I call them Nephilim. My 9-year-old is 4'10", and my 7-year-old is 4'9", and they're both 80 pounds right now. And their dad's only 6 feet tall, so I'm 5'8". I have an uncle who's 6'3", and my ex has an uncle who's 6'5", so I guess that the giant genetic potential is there. Yeah, I figure by the time they're probably 14 or 15, they'll be taller than I am. Yeah. And I still pick both of them up. I don't know, their dad's trying to get them to play soccer, and I'm like, My older son is he's like me, he's not really a team sport type unless he can be leading. So I think that something like martial arts and or boxing would be better for him. But my younger son is more of a social butterfly and seems to get along pretty well with people. There's some ASMR, knuckle popping ASMR. I can't believe we've been on here for an hour and 40 minutes, you guys. This is craziness. And 17 likes. Awesome. Yeah, my younger son is a southpaw too. He's left-handed in all things. And I actually have a stationary kick bag that I got with some of the money from my tax return this year that's out on the porch, and I got gloves for the boys and for me, so it's stress relief and it's exercise, and it's, you know, me having a martial arts background, teaching them how to defend themselves. Yeah, I don't want them doing wrestling. I dated a few wrestlers in high school, and the way that wrestling coaches encourage unhealthy dropping of weight is just no. And they like being active, they like to run around and play, so I'm like, you know, we don't have to force them into organized sports, just like we don't have to force them into organized religion. Not everything has to be done in a group setting for it to be beneficial and enjoyable. I would just really like to get back in the gym personally, because I know I could get the results that I'm looking for a lot quicker with heavy weights. But the gym costs money. Like, everything costs money, and we know how things are with inflation. Costs of things keep going up, but for some reason people just aren't getting paid more. Funny how that works. Oh no, structure is amazing for kids. My kids are very much creatures of habit, to such an extent that they go to bed at exactly the same time every night. I actually use my kids as weights sometimes. If they're in a really bad mood out of nowhere and nothing will distract them, I'll be like, come on, we're doing squats. They'll be like, what do you mean? I'm like, come here, you gotta stand really stiff and really straight, and I'm gonna pick you up, okay? So they'll stand super rigid, and I can usually get maybe 3 or 4 squats with them on my shoulders before they start giggling. That's about it, though. I could mostly be okay with the way I'm built right now if I could just tone up my stomach some more. But from getting as huge as I did while I was pregnant with my children, there's always going to be loose skin on my stomach, barring getting surgery, and I'm not doing that, so. I wish I had room for a home gym. No more ground until tomorrow morning. And when they're angry at each other, I'm like, here, go put on the gloves, go hit the bag instead of each other. Oh, I miss living near the woods. I miss living near nature. Being out in the middle of a small city is not ideal for anything. I actually had somebody comment on, I think it was one of the single mom girlfriend audios, where they're like, wow, your city background noises are so realistic. I was like, well, that's good, because I live in the middle of a city. I actually just sat it on my porch and recorded it, so all those background noises are legit. I didn't have to add any of that. No, I did not have a cesarean. I had completely natural birth for both of my kids. Yeah. I am a very stubborn human being. Very stubborn and very determined. With my first son, the doctor, after I'd been in labor for about 10 hours or so, despite neither the baby nor I being in distress because they strap like 5,000 monitors all over both of you, she was like, if you don't hurry up and push this kid out, we're gonna take you to surgery. And I said, the fuck you are. And so, child. Much yelling was involved. And with my second son, my lovely now ex-husband, at the end of it, he was like, do you know how many times you said, I can't effing do this? And I'm like, no, but I'm sure you kept track, didn't you? He's like, 54 times you said, I can't effing do this. And you know, any normal person could have taken that and spun it into, but look, you did it anyway, you did a great job, all you needed to do is believe in yourself. But no, he's not that sort of a man. And it was funny as hell watching him almost hit the ground, because the doctor, they're like, oh, do you want a mirror so you can see the baby crown? And I'm like, good God, no, I do not. I do not want to see that. I grew up around livestock and critters in the country. I have seen mammalian births. I do not wish to view it from my body, please and thank you. No. And then he goes and looks, goes as white as a sheet. And I'm like, so help me God, if you pass out, I am going to step on your head. Do not pass out right now. And then I almost broke his hand squeezing it. But yeah. Some people are all about, oh, it's the miracle of birth. And I'm like, it is an inhuman, traumatic experience. Is it amazing? Sure, I guess. But, no, I don't. No, thank you. No, I don't want to see it. I'm glad I didn't. But his dumbass looked both times and almost passed out. Yeah, but you know, when the doctors tell you before you go into labor, oh, your baby's measuring right on about normal, they should be about 7.5 pounds, and then they set this 10-pound thing on top of your chest while it's still attached to you via the umbilical cord, and you're like, I know that this is still attached to me, but are you sure this is my baby? Is this really my baby? I don't believe you. It doesn't matter that he's literally still attached to me. This can't be my child. This thing is too large. I had never held a baby in my life before I birthed my first son, so I very much had a whole heck of a lot of, oh my God, what do I do with this? All of the things I've read, all of the things I've watched, they mean nothing in the face of, oh my God, there is literally a human being that now depends on me to live. I mean, we had the names picked out beforehand, so that wasn't an issue. The thing that really bothered me was it had been less than 6 hours, and I had a doctor come in and ask me, well, what are you going to do about birth control now? And I was like, not do anything for at least 6 weeks and not even think about it. Like, why is that an issue right now? They're like, oh, well, you know, we have the shot, and we have the IUD, and we have the birth control patch, and we have pills, and all these other things. And I'm like, I just had my kid. Can I just enjoy some time with my child, please? No? Okay, then we're gonna stick to pull and pray. Leave me alone. Okay, thanks. Go away. It was ridiculous. It was probably the most obnoxious, disrespectful thing I had witnessed, aside from, if you don't have this baby right now, we're going to take you to surgery. It's like, no, you're not. That is completely true. But I am, in all things, I am very, very big on studying something to death before I engage in it, in all things. I can't tell you how much time I spent watching roleplay ASMRs and reading scripts before I even attempted to record my first one. And if the parents don't have a name picked out, then they just write baby, insert child's gender here on everything, because there are actually some people in some cultures who do not name the child until they have been ex utero for a certain amount of time. It's just a thing for some people. But you know, hospitals, like so many things, they don't for the most part care about the well-being of the parents. It is a factory. It is, have your baby, here's the door. It's pretty much how it goes. And I've been on like a 15-minute tangent talking about children. This is very strange. I didn't, honestly. I think I had a moment of doubt when it came to other VAs, and then I had to remind myself that I am not that same person, you know? Especially with me writing all of my own scripts and everything when I don't just do improv. Firstly, people who listen to ASMR roleplays are so gormandizing in their habits that I think it's ridiculous to be like, oh, I only listen to so-and-so. Like, are you kidding me? Okay, I have boyfriend ASMR polyamory on lockdown. I've got like a top 20 list, and yes, I could give it to you ranked. I'm not going to right now, but there are so many of them, and they have a variety of pitches and topics in their voice. Have a good night, Gamma. Thanks for stopping in. No, I'm not gonna give you my list. I'm not gonna. But you know, I can understand thinking I don't sound as good as they do, and whether that's because they have better equipment than you, or they sound more natural than you do, or whatever the reason might be, there is somebody out there who is going to enjoy your voice and the stories you tell with your voice. And if you are confident enough to post it, I think you will be pleasantly surprised at how many people will enjoy what you create. I actually have had to remove. Oh my god. Yup, I've been talking too long. Okay, I have actually had to remove a few of my favorites, unfortunately, from my top list because of questionable things that occurred with members of their community. And you're welcome, Nate. For real. I'm in a lot of writing groups, specifically a Moms Who Write group on Facebook, and there are so many totally insecure women who are like, well, what if I'm not as good as so-and-so? And I'm like, then your first couple of works suck, and you get better with every one that you make. You have to give yourself the grace to create garbage. And it's okay to make crap because it's practice. Think of everything you make as practice. And you can always improve. I don't care how professional you are. I don't care if you've got 1 million subscribers and you get, 150k views the first day a video drops. You can always do better. You know? Oh, I know it happens to men too, but don't get me wrong. I'm just talking from my personal realm of experience. But they're like, well, what if people don't like my book? Okay, not everybody's going to. Some of the biggest books on Book Talk, especially in the romance sphere right now, I'm like, I bought it and I kind of wish I'd been able to get it on Kindle Unlimited because it was not my cup of tea, and I would still give that author the page read money, but I didn't really wanna. I'm kind of pissed that I paid $6 for it because it's not something I'll ever read again. I don't mind paying for a book. We used to have to go buy a book off the shelf, and you were stuck with said book forever once you bought it. But now with digital everything, it makes it a lot easier to access it in part through things like Kindle Unlimited. It's less of a gamble. But there have just been things that people wrote rave reviews about, and oh, this is fabulous, this is awesome, this is wonderful, and it was just meh for me. That doesn't mean it's bad, it's just not for me. Like every time I do something new and weird with my videos here, and I hit publish, I kind of duck and cringe, waiting for somebody to be like, oh my god, what is this? What are you doing, Randy? What the actual hell is this? Like the moth girl thing. I was like, oh, this is a cute, fluffy idea that I had, and I'm really into bugs and moths and butterflies and stuff. So I was like, oh, what about a moth girl girlfriend for girls for the 4th of July? Like, it'd be so cute. And I was like, oh my god, but what if people hate it? Because I know that most of my audience is male. What if people hate it? What if they just downvote it because it's not F for A or F for M? What if they hate it? And you would be surprised. Like, take for instance, and don't be afraid to practice. If practicing means just reading something out loud to yourself, it doesn't even mean you have to record it. I mean, a perfect example of work with what you have and you can't get better until you start practicing. Because you can study something to death, which is, like I said, something I'm guilty of. I will research the ever-loving crap out of something before I even attempt to execute it. I'm a measure 10 times, cut once, actually measure 10 times, cut halfway, go, oh my god, what have I done? Did I do it wrong? Type. But a perfect example of working with what you have, and I know a lot of people are scared to start because they don't have like an expensive microphone or soundproofing or any of these other things, and it's like you don't need gear to get started. The biggest example of that is Slumber Reads, who I love and who I talk to on Twitter occasionally still, despite them having a huge audience. They started out just recording on their phone. Didn't even get a legit plug-in microphone, like a regular plug-in microphone, until they hit 10K. Didn't bother getting a super fancy studio microphone and a good setup until close to 100K. So you don't need all of the bells and whistles. You don't need to go broke buying things. if you're gonna invest in anything and you're not totally comfortable reading aloud or performing, or if you get twitchy and nervous in front of people, like you can tell from the way I'm talking, I don't get twitchy and nervous talking to people about anything. I've just always been that way. I would suggest investing in something like a voice acting class, or just a regular acting class in general, something that'll help bring you out of your shell so you're more comfortable. And as far as drawing stuff goes, don't even get me started. I used to be pretty decent at drawing, and I am reteaching myself to draw because I want to be able to make my own book covers and not just photo manipulation covers, because like with the same background music in every horror narration video you ever find, books within one market will all have the same cover models, and it drives me absolutely bonkers. So, on top of learning how to draw, I'm teaching myself 3D modeling and a whole bunch of other things. I've been using Photoshop since I was like 16, so I'm pretty decent with a lot of that stuff. And yes, you should, Nate. Go for it. Yeah, I have that same issue, Scav, with, like, last year for Black Friday, I bought myself a pretty decent drawing tablet. It's a... oh my lord, what even is it? I have no idea. It's like a Canva 16 or something. It's a pretty decent mid-range drawing tablet. I got it for a really good deal on Black Friday, and aside from taking it out of the box and setting it up 2 or 3 times, I have done absolutely jack nothing with it. Let me see. I am going to butcher the name. It is a Huion Canva 16 drawing tablet. Like one of the ones with the screen. It's like the budget-friendly-ish version of the Wacom. Yeah, that thing. I just had to look at the name. I'm like, I can't remember the name. I know it's something foreign, but I can't remember the name. And it's huge. It takes up way too much space on my desk. Yeah, I've heard people pronounce it so many different ways. I'm like, I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm just gonna say up front, Lord, I apologize for saying this wrong. Yep, 16-inch screen. It's the biggity big one. And I've actually purchased, like, drawing lessons that are, you know, courses that I've downloaded, because I want to be able to draw anime style, and I want to be able to make merch for my books with my characters in it without having to hunt around for some random model that's kinda sorta how they look in my head, kinda sorta, but not really. So you convince yourself that the model is the expression of how the person looked in your brain, and I'm like, no. I'm just gonna get good enough at drawing that I can do it myself. Because, you know, one-woman show, that's what we do. For signing in? That is nuts. I looked at the prices on those and I was like, yeah, no. And I read enough reviews and watched enough reviews that I figured that this one, the Canva, because I'm not going to butcher the name of the the company again, I figured that this one would be good enough. And I got Clip Studio Paint when it was on sale too. Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. I can't imagine. Be like, can I borrow that for some sketches? Oh, and that reminds me to bring the talk of life, the universe, and everything back around to content. I actually did record the next Dom, Neko, Mafia, Queen, Girlfriend, whatever, the 50 tropes that I copy and pasted together and people seem to love audio. I recorded it last night and I got it mostly edited today. That will be going up tomorrow at some point. So that is the next Jin and Bunny Boy audio. Will be going up tomorrow. Ugh, that's so nuts, and that's so sad too. Well, to give you a better, well, first let me express to you why I had so much Bunny Boy brain rot. And that is because I played this otome game called Obey Me. And essentially, well, I mean, kind of yes and no. I mean, he actually is a server at a strip club. But he's a server, so think like the drink girls that walk around in strip clubs, not the people performing on stage. But anyway, Bunny Boy brain rot. So because of this otome game, every year they've been doing this bunny event around Easter where all of the characters get dressed up in like vests and button-up shirts and tux pants and have little fluffy bunny tails and bunny ears, and it's just ridiculous. But for some reason I was like, you know what would be funny? Because it seems like within the roleplay stratosphere, female characters are almost always prey animals, and male characters are typically predator types. So you're looking at like a Legoshi and Haru situation from Beastars. You know, you got the wolf boy and you got the bunny girl. I actually played a lot of different otome games before I settled on Obey Me almost 2 years ago now. Yeah. But aside from that, I also grew up playing the Bloody Roar games. And if you've ever played or seen anything from the Bloody Roar games, yes, actually, you're spot on with that one, Scav, about Haru being more of a predator and Legoshi's kinda not. I actually haven't watched the second season of Beastars because I don't have Netflix anymore, because that was one of the things that just kind of fell by the wayside. The only reason I even signed up for Netflix last time was the most recent season of Castlevania, and I watched it all the way through like twice and said, okay, that's good. Let's go spend the money somewhere else. But yeah, with the Bloody Roar, I mean, look at the character Yugo. Look at how crazy built he is, and I think that's where my werewolf obsession came from. But yeah, so anthros like that, who are just the crazy musculature of those animals extended onto human frames. That's kind of how it was for me. So I was thinking, like, okay, what if Alice was a boy instead of a girl? How super ripped and, like, those just massive bunny thighs. Yes, perfection. But then I watched Juni Taisen Zodiac War, which is an anime, and oh my goodness, if you have seen that, and you have seen Usagi the rabbit from Juni Taisen, oh my. On top of that, dude runs around in high heels for the duration of the entire thing, which is impressive in and of itself. Nope, it is an anime called Juni Taisen. Zodiac War. And oh, he is super ripped. I could probably post a picture, but the stream seems to be functioning properly, and I don't want to, like, mess it up, but... I mean, think about how strong a rabbit's legs are, though. If you took that same strength and amplified it onto, like, a 5'10" human's frame, dude's gonna be able to kick down a door like it's made out of paper. And he actually did start out as a cage fighter when the speaker character ran across him. It was one of those, everybody around is predator animals, and they're like, he's a bunny, he'll be easy meat. Nope. That's what you get for underestimating. Should know better. I have never understood why some people have this deep-seated dislike for anime, and I'm like, it's just another medium of things to watch. I mean, it's like any animated show. I don't really understand the dislike it gets from some people. And I'm also not one of those people that's like, I only watch anime. Although I have to admit, I am a bit of a subtitle snob. Excuse me. I do tend to enjoy the dialogue on subs much more than dubs. Although there are some series that I enjoy both or will only watch dubbed because that's how I first saw it when I was a kid. Like, it was really weird for me to watch Sailor Moon Crystal because the voice actors are obviously not the same as the American voice actors for Sailor Moon that came out in, like, the 90s when I was a kid. So I was like, I don't know. This is questionable. Thanks, Nate. Have a good night. Thanks for dropping in. And I will do my best to stay awesome. We shall see. Only time will tell. I feel like the whole it sexualizes children argument is very subjective. a good night. I feel like a lot of people are new to fandoms and don't understand the concept of aging up characters. Like, for instance, I have a body pillow that has a shirtless pro hero Dynamite on it. That does not mean that it is the 15-year-old version of Bakugo Katsuki. It's more like the mid-20s to 30-year-old plus based on the way he's built version of it. Because like I said, ew, 18-year-olds. I don't care if they're technically adults. Yuck. But when I was a kid, and fanfiction was a newish thing, it happened all the time in fanfiction, and nobody thought anything of it. Like, oh, this character is young, okay, so make them a grown person. Yes, also, super hard agree, it is not real, it is fictional. If you're going to get in this much of a snit about ink on a page, what about real kids who are being abused? Are you advocating for them the same way? No. Then shut your face. And yes, finding good anime is difficult. I actually put off starting to watch My Hero Academia for well over a year before I finally gave in to temptation. And I am so glad I did. And I got my kids into it, and they love it too. I feel like it has a lot of good emotional lessons. It shows that it's okay for men to cry, it's okay for men to feel things, it's okay for men to be disappointed and for them to fail at things. It is wholesome, positive masculinity, but conversely, it also has some, in my opinion, harmless teenage perviness that is so common among teenagers, and to try and act like it's not a thing, like Mineta just existing in general, is the mental state of every 13 to 16-year-old boy that I have ever known, if I'm being perfectly honest. And the fight scenes are so good. Oh, they're so good. I cannot tell you how many times that stupid series has made me cry. I've watched it all the way through in Japanese, I've watched all the way through everything that's been dubbed so far, and I'm reading the manga, and I'm not going to say any manga spoilers right now, but oh my god, I'm so upset that they're hurting my babies. I'm not okay with it. It's not okay. 110% not okay. And if they axe any other main characters at this point, I'm gonna be so freaking mad. Like, I can't even. Watching shows hasn't really been something I've indulged in much lately either, though. Again, it's that whole I feel guilty because I sat down for 5 minutes thing. Yes, very much so. And I hate that being on Twitter, people who can read Japanese will be posting manga spoilers when the chapter drops in Japan, and I'm like, oh my god, screw off, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, I don't want to see it, I don't need to see it, make it stop, no. And then, the other side of the coin, joy of having children who are interested in this show, I had to tell my 9-year-old the other day not to search for My Hero Academia fan art. And he was like, but why? And I'm like, well, because there's this thing called shipping, my darling, wherein people put characters together in a relationship. And those characters are usually aged up so that they can have the type of relationship that married people have. I was like, please, for the love of all that is holy, do not look for My Hero Academia fan art again, or you are going to see things that your 9-year-old brain is not ready to see. And all I had to say to him was, it's a sex thing. And he was like, oh, ew. And I'm like, and you don't even want me to tell you the pairings that people have made. He's like, nope, that's all I need to know. I will not look for it again. Thank you for letting me know. I'm like, you're welcome. I love you. Yeah, the whole not aged up thing, you know, it's just like, ew. But by the same token, I also understand that a lot of the fandom is younger. And as somebody who was both reading and writing erotic content in my early teen years, yeah, things happen. I think that as long as said person has the capacity to separate fiction from reality, maturity is something that can vary from one individual to another. Some people who are in their early 20s aren't ready for that stuff. But I mean, the first books that I was exposed to that had that sort of explicit content in them, I was 13 and picked up Anne Rice books off of a shelf because it said Anne Rice, not realizing that it was the Beauty Trilogy, which was the erotica that she wrote previously under a different name. So my 13-year-old brain was exposed to all sorts of things. I think the biggest issue is that people need to learn how to separate those things. So yeah, if you know anything about that series, I was 13. I was 13. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. But you know, it was funny because I actually made a TikTok about that because somebody made a post asking, what was a book that you read that you were entirely too young to read? And I talked about that and how I was 13, and so many other people were like, oh my god, no way, me too. And I'm like, see, it all started with vampires and then it progressed from vampires to medieval BDSM erotica. And then you add Dungeons and Dragons into the mix, and you have the Venn diagram of weird people. I'm not sure if enriching is the word that I would use, but it was interesting. The Venn diagram of people going to hell, going directly to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. We have been streaming for almost 2.5 hours now, so I think in just a few minutes, at about the 2.5 hour mark, I will call it. So if anybody who's still here has any questions about any lore stuff, or any series, or if there's like a one-shot audio that you really, really, really like and you'd like to see a part 2, anything like that. Right? But I started at 7 o'clock and it has, yeah, it's been almost 2.5 hours. And I've just been babbling the whole time. And people have rolled through and dropped a like and left, and people have been here having conversations. Streaming is such a trip, honestly. I'd really like to do it more often, like every other week when the kids aren't here would be nice, but trying to schedule it around my work schedule is always more of a hassle than a little bit. With me picking up multiple gig jobs now on top of massage, and trying to do all of this stuff on the computer, there's a reason I only sleep maybe 5 or 6 hours a night. 6 is on the high end. It's usually more like 4.5. Coffee is the way. And through the magical bean potion of amnesia, all things are possible. And if anything is not possible with the magical bean potion of amnesia, things are also possible through spite. Yeah, I'm a member of the sleepless elite that completely functions on 5 hours of sleep a night. I am driving for DoorDash. I occasionally do something called SudShare, where you pick up people's laundry, wash, fold, and return their laundry. I applied for Grubhub. I'm going to be applying for Uber Eats. I applied for being a Walmart Spark driver. Yeah. There are people who would claim that I am not human, so I will leave that decision up to your discretion as to what you believe. There's a reason that part of my Twitter profile says that I am a coffee cryptid. If you cut me, I might bleed coffee. I do have some cosplay horns, but they're not that cool. I wish they were that cool. And I do occasionally just wear them around. I mean, it might be accurate. I mean, the souls of non-believers, I do consume them in my coffee in the morning, so, you know. And I do kind of miss my hair being red, but we've gone too dark now to go back. I'm trying to let my hair heal, so no more bleaching. No more bleaching. It's more like a boba. It's got that juicy burst when you bite into it, you know? Yeah, kind of like gushers. Well, thanks for stopping in, Barash. I appreciate you. And even though I'm going to be signing off in about a minute here, I've got hours of stuff to do still. I need to finish a chapter to post on Patreon because it's finally almost done. I want to record another audio. I gotta finish editing the Gen 1 for tomorrow, and oh my god. If I could just clone myself, that'd be great. Or maybe just have extra arms so I could get things done. That'd be good too. Clip-on rat ears. Oh, gotcha. The mall rat. That makes sense. I just worked in a mall. I was not a fan. Never wanted to be there unless I had to work. And then when I had to work, I still didn't want to be there, but I showed up and did it because I had to. So, on that note, it is now the 2.5 hour mark, so I am going to say thank you very much to everybody who stopped by. And if you aren't subscribed already, which I'm assuming you are, make sure you subscribe, drop a like on the video before you leave if you haven't already, and be on the lookout for a new audio tomorrow. I hope you all have an awesome day, night, morning, whatever time it is where you are, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.